Nikita John from Kuppikali and I'm on Cheers, Chatty.
Hi Nikita, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. And hey Baboos, this is Chatty from Cheers Chatty, India's first and only beer podcast. It's a nice Sunday morning. It's not raining in Mumbai, fortunately. It's bright and sunny. It's a good day to have a podcast as well. I'm sitting here with my hot cup of coffee and I don't know what Nikita is having. What are you having, Nikki?
A chilled beer right now.
Oh, fabulous, man. What, Chatty Patam?
Yes.
That's your fave.
Correct. Current favorite.
So people, for all you guys who don't know Nikita, I'll tell you where her road really starts in life. We all know about beer to a large extent through the Cheers Chatty podcast. We know what goes into it, the people who are there in it, in fact, even about packaging and designing. But what we really don't know is what happens the morning after. So whether it's beer or whether it's alcohol or any kind of spirit, that's when Nikita comes into the picture and she starts playing. Okay? Because all the discarded bottles go to her and she makes the most out of it. And that's what her brand is also about. So without wasting much time, I'm going to go and speak with her and ask her about her journey. Hey Nikki, sounds like a good intro.
Yep. Amazing.
Also, it's a very big day for Nikita because she's completed her first year of non-corporate life. So that's her anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I still can't believe an entire year is over and I'd actually gifted myself this 1 year break from corporate life to sort of try all the things that I wanted to.
Okay.
And to be very honest with you, Kuppikali was not even on top of that priority list.
So what was on priority?
I was actually trying to do all sorts of things. So I wanted to create a platform. So I am from advertising. So I wanted to sort of create a platform to make advertising agencies more accessible to more people. So I wanted to create a platform like that, which is actually what AFAX has gone ahead and done right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm always buzzing with ideas. So I wanted to try all possible things that I had intended to.
Okay.
And I heard about an exhibition that was happening and I thought, okay, wait, I have Kuppikali and I do this stuff, so why not try this as well? So that's when I went back to the bottles when I created the 5 lamp series and I absolutely just fell in love with the product myself and so here we are from there.
Okay. But what's your biggest learning during this 1 year?
During this 1 year, biggest learning would have to be time, rather time management. So the thing is, when I had a full-time job, getting free time was an absolute luxury.
Okay.
And after quitting, I would take it for granted. So I would not know when days went by.
Okay.
So it actually took me a couple of months to sort of get in the groove of working independently and, to self-motivate and self-discipline. So actually, to be in control of your time is, I think, my biggest learning.
I completely identify with that because I went through it as well. I'm an ex-advertising person. I still do it a lot in a freelance basis as well for a lot of clients. Yeah, but when I quit my corporate life as well, the biggest challenge is how do you manage your time? Because you can wake up in the morning and thinking that you have nothing to do. And if you just actually list down your, the work that you're supposed to do, what you have planned to do, it's a lot, yeah. It's really a lot of work.
It really is. It's just the initial because sometimes when I'm working on a new product, I'm away much earlier than usual because I can't wait to sort of try it.
Okay.
So, but then on other days when I'm feeling a bit lazy, the entire day just slips by. So yeah, writing to-do lists, making sure I have a plan for the week, for the day, it just really helps.
So let's talk about the inspiration of the bottles, which started with jars apparently. Okay, so there are, I think bottles really change, lamps change in people's lives. There was one which was the Aladdin's lamp and then the other one was the one which was gifted to you by your sister. So where did that come from?
I was moving out of home into a hostel and my sister Nima, she made beautiful bedside lamps for me and the entire dorm sort of loved it and it was really beautiful.
Okay.
After I came back, I asked her, hey, how did you make it? It looks lovely. And then she told me about how to spray paint on surfaces and she taught me the initial bit of how to do it. And then I liked it so much that I started doing it, and I started gifting them to people, and that's how it really started. So Kuppikali actually started not with bottles.
Oh, it started with jars. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how many would you have made till date? You haven't count?
I actually haven't looked back and counted, to be
That is
honest.
actually a good thing to do, because we get restricted the moment we know our numbers.
Yeah, I sort of just let it free flow.
And how did using bottles start then? How did that progress?
Oh, okay. So I don't mean to make my dad sound like an alcoholic, but there were always some beautiful bottles in the house when I was growing up.
Okay.
And so when they were empty, they'd be discarded. And me being an absolute hoarder, I would try and rescue these bottles from the bin because they were so beautiful. I just couldn't, let it go.
I identify with that again. Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom was like, how many are you going to just keep in the house and in your room? So I
Correct.
started printing on them. And so instead of using jars, I started using bottles.
Okay.
So I started turning them into home decor pieces, so like vases and stuff. And then I guess that's when I made the switch to bottles. So yeah.
It was good. So it reminds me of my father as well. Again, I'm not going to make him sound like an alcoholic, but he invented these too. And he had these amazing bottles too. I think it was the old school thing. And he would never like to discard it. I think somewhere I got it from him too. So he would make lamps. He would put lampshades on it. And if anyone by mistake also, did something or displaced it, he would get very upset. But it does take me back to the time when bottles used to look very beautiful. Now I find them to look very assembly line kind of a production look. But they were so beautiful, and you really never wanted to put them in the bin. Yeah.
That's true. I remember actually one of my first projects, I had worked on a Chivas Regal bottle. And I think I created a Santa or a reindeer, or it was a Christmas theme. And so I switched off all the lights in my room and only this lamp. It was a red colored lamp.
Yeah.
And I brought my dad in to see it.
Oh.
And the only thing he said was, "Hey, that's my Chivas bottle."
Was he surprised that it's empty, or is that, oh my God, I already finished it? What was his reaction first?
No, it was like, "Hey, wow, what a nice use of my bottle." It was kind of like that. And I'm like, "Can you look beyond that, please?"
No, something your daughter's created. Can you please, pay some attention out here?
Yeah.
Father.
Yeah, so that was that.
And how did the name Kuppikali come up?
By around 2015, I was anyway doing this just as a hobby. And I started getting a few orders. So, in offices, how we play Secret Santa and stuff.
Correct.
So, around that time, I would always get a couple of orders for bottles. And I thought, okay, since people are, and everybody I gift one of these bottles to, I always get another couple of orders from there.
Okay.
So people in offices see something and they like it and they get in touch with me. So it had started somewhat being like an extra pocket money of sorts for me.
Okay.
And I thought I should, give a name to it. So I went through a ton of options and I sort of...
I am sure like a typical advertising person.
Exactly, very typical. And then it sort of just... So I looked into... So I'm Mallu. So I thought, okay, is there something of me that I can put into the brand? So then that's when the words came. So Kuppi means bottle and Kali means to play. So loosely sort of translates to playing with bottles, and that's sort of what I do. So
I like the logo.
the logo was done by a friend called Bhushan. I literally only had to call him and be like, help, I need something for a logo. And record time, he whipped up something beautiful. It's fun, it's playful. And
very playful, yeah.
Yeah, I've had it since then.
And it looks very versatile, it's like something that you can play around with it and make different things. It's not, saying that, okay, it is like a typical Photoshop or AI kind of a, logo which fits into a particular slot.
Correct.
So that's very nice thing.
Yeah.
So tell me, what kind of clients do you cater to now?
Oh, I cater to lots of different kinds of clients. One would be majorly it's for gifting.
Yeah.
So people always, more often than not, reach out to me saying, hey, I want to gift someone for their birthday or anniversary or as a giveaway. So I do a lot of it for gifting. And the kind of people who reach out to me are usually people who love their jams and their beers and all of that.
Yeah.
They think it's very quirky, the product itself, and they love that there is a utility given to the bottle as well. So a lot of people, they use plants and, it's very simple to do that, and that's what most people do. But when they see it in the form of these lamps and planters and the multiple other product ranges, they find it very interesting. So people who like to sort of have fun in life and, who have an eye for
different taste also, for that matter.
Correct. So they want to jazz it up and have quirky spaces. Those are the kind of people who end up reaching out to me.
I saw your post yesterday. You made something, a pen stand with bottles.
Yes.
Very beautiful. Yeah, it looks like it's done in, so tastefully and so smooth.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that was also on request. So actually an aunt of mine gave me that order.
Okay.
So she wanted to gift it to her cousin, and she said, okay, what else can we do? I've seen the planter, I've seen everything else.
Yeah.
But so she has a favorite quote. Can we put a quote on something?
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's a teacher, and she would really like. And then so in fact, a lot of my clients also egg me on to try new products, which is what I find amazing because they push me. Yeah, they push me saying, hey, I want something different. So then I'm also forced to think of something that I haven't done before. And so that's how the pen stand happened.
So if someone asks you to customize product for them, would you be able to do that? For instance, I come to you and I say that I'm Chatty and I need some bottles to be designed for me with my branding.
Of course.
That can be done?
Yes, of course. So I've done a bottle, another one for a birthday, where I designed a label to say fabulous since 60 years. It was for a 60th birthday. So that's label design, and I've done a Budweiser. I've converted a Budweiser pint bottle into a sanitizer.
Oh, I saw that. You sent me the picture, remember? Correct, yes.
Yeah. So that had a lot of takers.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm open to customization. I think that also adds to the gifting segment.
Absolutely. Also, when you started off painting on the bottles, isn't it?
Correct.
Some art. And now you are actually making it as utility properties and gifting ideas where you put in some pipes and you do, lamps and stuff like that. So, how have you, progressed on the line of learning as well? Did you need to go for a course or anything of that sort?
No,
it was all DIY.
Because the interest was always there. So I'm going to be very honest here. I'm not the best painter that I know.
Okay.
So I would find the painting on bottles a bit limiting. And I also saw that there were hundreds of people doing painting on bottles, and I was very obsessed with doing something different. So I sort of decided, okay, why don't I try mixed media where bottles are my core, and I know that for sure because I loved using glass as a medium.
Yes.
And, over the years, actually, from the time I started, I also started moving towards a more eco-friendly sort of a mindset. Yes. And that's when I realized that in my own very, very small way, what I do is I collect bottles, and if I'm not able to upcycle them, I also send them over to a recycling facility.
Oh, so nice. That's nice. Very nice. Yeah.
It's because actually surprisingly less than 25% of bottles and glass actually is recycled in India. And that is horrible because glass takes about 1 million years to decompose. So, So overall I decided, okay, let me make things that people can also use around the house. Because if they see as vases, there's not much use for it. So I didn't do any specific course, but what I do is I go to all sorts of places and sit there for hours. For example, hardware stores.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. I can imagine you doing that.
Yeah. And so one is the people used to find it weird because I'm just sitting there and asking them questions. And they're like, what do you want? Why are you here?
Why are you here? What is your purpose? तुम कहना क्या चाहते हो type से.
And they'd be so uncomfortable with me being there that, I first have to gain their trust and confidence saying that, I'm not into some shady business. I'm just here to learn.
Yeah.
And then they'd get very open. They'd also want to teach me what they know. It was really nice. Like all the people I've met have been really amazing with teaching me about different kinds of material. Of course, online you can learn and study so much that I've not had to take any course.
Yeah.
But even if it comes to, for example, electrical work. So my dad is an electrical engineer, and I have another friend who also always has solutions to anything I need. So I'm always on video call, and they're teaching me how to do parallel connections and, to connect things to switches. Yeah. So that's largely how I learn my things.
But if someone had to come to you and say, some students or anyone says that, why don't you teach us as well? Is there something that you would look at?
Sure. I only say that, so glass cutting it's a little tricky in the sense it's glass. So I have been cut several times, and with glass, it's very, it's brittle. So one wrong movement, the entire glass breaks. So it takes a lot of time to sort of get cutting right. So it would have to be at a safe space, and everyone would have to wear proper equipment while doing it. So, because I've gone through the grind of cutting myself.
Yeah, correct.
So, but teaching is something that I'll always be open to.
I'm also very passionate about bottles. In fact, I once purchased 100 plus bottles and got my mom's crochet design printed on it, and then put in fairy lights, and sold it quite a few of them. In fact, they are completely sold out. I also went in for a course, I wouldn't say a course, actually a workshop somewhere in Lower Parel. In fact, at the social, someone had organized for glass cutting and making things out of glass bottles. And as you said, you can hurt yourself. I am any which way very accident prone. I was cutting it and I didn't even realize that I cut my hand. And before I knew it, there was something blood on the bottle, and then I realized, it is a tricky thing, and one needs to be very careful, when you're playing with fire and bottles.
Correct.
Yeah. Tell me any interesting, funny stories that happened when you were learning or you were experimenting, and then challenges that you faced.
I remember once, so I don't know the names, the technical names for these things that I want. So, I remember going into a hardware store and I was asking this guy for one type of a pipe. And, I'm explaining to him what I want and he's not understanding. And halfway through the conversation, something clicked in his mind.
Okay.
And he screams across the hardware store, saying, "Madam ko 4 nipple dena."
Oof, mother.
What?
What the hell is that?
And then he brought back the exact parts that I wanted.
Oh,
and I was like, oh my God, I am not going to be able to ask for nipples at a hardware store.
Next time you need to show the picture and say, "Ye 4 piece dena bhaiya."
No, so I carry a sample.
Bring it over, ask for that door.
Yeah, so it's easier, no conversation. Bhaiya, iska bas 4 dena bas.
Life and its funny ways, of learning things.
Yeah.
Amazing. Tell me something, Nikki. What's your advice to people who want to start off on their own, who want to give up their beautiful careers, something they've been passionate about, but they just, don't know where to start, and everyone is a little nervous when they want to break the norms.
Correct. So I would say what I did was I financially saved up for a year.
Okay.
Which meant I had to work my ass off and save to be able to gift. So I looked at it as a 1-year break.
Okay. That's the time you give yourself.
That's the time I gave myself, saying, okay, within 1 year, if I can figure something out for myself, great. If not, I can always go back or I can always pick up another job. So that sort of pressure does not exist then because, and you also are then motivated to maximize your time. So if it is something that you're passionate about, if you want to pursue it, give yourself 12 months. And 12 months might be a little too short. I agree.
Yeah.
But
depends what your ideas and how prepared you are actually and what you plan. How do you want to take it forward?
Okay, so I want to I see myself setting up a studio space and, of course, I'm not even an e-com live person right now. So take the brand onto multiple platforms. And, in fact, I've just about sent out my shipping to London. So that's my first international client.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was very excited about that. So yeah, I want to be a global brand, and that's what I see.
So the lockdown in some way was a boon to you. It worked for you as far as work is concerned.
I'm not so sure actually, because pre-lockdown I thought of doing a few exhibitions, but unfortunately, all that money sort of got stuck with multiple exhibition places.
Okay.
And I also had plans to invest in more equipment and set up my studio space by, November.
Okay.
But that does not seem likely because I wasn't sure. I mean, when the lockdown came, initially the first couple of months, nobody was buying anything. Everyone was being conservative. But now, yes, things are opening up.
Yeah.
But so I figured out how to make the lockdown work for me rather.
And since the festive period is just around the corner, so maybe it's a good time as well for you coming up.
I do have a new range actually that I'm working on.
Okay.
It's still in the trial, experimenting and failing stage right now, so I don't want to make any commitments. But I should be out. I should be ready for a Diwali new catalog.
I am definitely giving you a range to work on, which is the Cheers Chatty bottle merchandise.
Oh, lovely. Not
So
a problem.
I don't know if you saw the post yesterday. Yes, you did comment to. I'm sorry, I take that back. Is that the bottles that you saw, with me on the ladder, they are the ones I've saved up for you to work on as well.
Oh, perfect. Those are some lovely bottles.
Yeah, so I need to hoard and I keep them. They've been there for years. I've got a place where I keep all of them. So the first time I heard about you and interacted with you, I said, this is going to you. So there's work coming your way, Nikki.
Thank you so much. And actually, I have to point this out that since I have been doing this, a lot of people who are on my Instagram page, they actually do send me a lot of their discarded bottles, and they do it periodically, and it makes me feel so good because people are actually wanting to look at more sustainable ways of discarding glass waste. And I think, if nothing, at least I've achieved a little bit of, urging people to be eco-friendly.
Absolutely. And I think all of us need to do that. It's not just about consuming something and then discarding it and forgetting about it. We need to know where it's going and how responsible we are going to be here.
Absolutely.
And see where the world has got us today.
Correct.
We only have ourselves to be blamed and no one else here.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's before I forget, Nikki, I want to ask you.
And it's a hot, sunny day. Everyone just orders a crate of beer and everyone's sitting around. Beer is always everywhere. Then I ended up, no one orders for cocktails at home. At least they didn't when I was in college. And I sort of then started, getting tuned to beer.
Yeah.
And slowly, on a hot sunny day, that's what I prefer. So from going to I hate beer to, hey, let's order in beer, I think I'm going to come a long way.
See, beer is actually a very go-to drink. There is no drama to it. You just pick it up and take it and then it's done, and it gives you a good time. There's no such thing that you have to have it in this way, that way. Each one has their own way of drinking, no doubt about it. And it's an omnipresent guy, a guy and a girl for that matter.
Exactly.
So it's just a part of you. You don't need to put in any effort to it. And yes, bitter, no doubt about it, but it grows on you. You need to appreciate it and know it beyond its bitterness. And then it's you can have around here.
Yeah, I totally agree now.
Yeah, and that's how the Kati thing is also hanging around with you as we speak.
Yeah, in fact, the Indian beer scene has just exploded so much. There are so many new offerings that I'm really enjoying experimenting with all the new beers in the market. So, yeah, that's what. So, current favorite is Kati. Before that, the favorite was Bira White.
I used to have that also quite a bit. Yeah. For me, mostly it's Budweiser and Kingfisher Ultra that I go to. And of course, they're like the safe guys.
Yeah, correct.
I'll go wrong with them.
Yeah, do that.
And before we sign off this podcast, I just want to ask you, how do your parents feel about about Kuppikali and you taking a break and where the brand is going today? I'm sure they're very proud, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. So initially they were a bit worried because I mean, when I went home and said that, okay, I'm going to quit my job, I had no idea what the next year had in store for me. So understandably, they were a bit worried. And I don't come from a business family. Like, the whole I want to do something on my own, it didn't really instill too much confidence because I had never done anything like this before. So, but despite that, I must say that they were very encouraging. They said, okay, you want to take a break, as long as your finances are in order.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm sorted that way. And then they said, yeah, I mean, go explore. And so they would keep checking up on me saying, how are you doing? Is this working out? Is it not? So I would get so excited with every new order that came in that I'd keep them in the loop. And they'd be like, okay, hey, this looks like it's working. And I remember discussing with my dad saying, I was looking at figuring out a studio space, and he actually checked with a couple of friends to see commercial spaces for rent and all of that.
Oh, that's very nice, yeah.
Yeah, they were very, very supportive and encouraging. So thankfully, I've been blessed with that.
No, and it will continue that way, yeah, because it's a superb talent that you have, and you're very passionate and you are at it. So there's no way that it's ever going to go any other way. It's just going to go up. And people like your stuff. You are very creative. You keep experimenting and you're open to, listening to people and learning. What else do you want?
Yeah, I'm very glad that people are like, I wasn't sure how people would react to the different series, but another big motivator is my husband. So even he sort of keeps pushing me into, saying it's okay, experiment. Some people will love it, some people will hate it, and it's okay. So that's really great.
About art. No, you can't get one standard answer, It's very subjective. Each one views it differently and likes it differently, or sometimes they hate it. But that's too bad for them. We don't want to bother about those people. They are not our teachers. So, Nikita, thank you so much for being on a podcast. And,
thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and I'm going to be meeting you very soon, and with a crate full of bottles coming your way.
Yeah, and we'll cheers to that.
Absolutely. And, I started off the podcast saying it's a nice, bright, sunny Sunday. But as we spoke, it started pouring here. And I don't think it's going to stop for some time.
So, it's just lying on my side, so it's all right for me.
Yeah, and my little squirrel must have gone and burrowed itself in the tree opposite as well. So that's a very good note. Please don't forget to follow us on our social media and our podcast channels. It will be there. So take care of yourself, be good, and watch the IPL match too as well.